Joining us now to talk more about this American Decay is media surrogate and the executive director of the National Diversity Coalition for Trump, Bruce LeVell. Bruce, great to talk to you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me, John. John, I don't even know where to begin, brother. Oh my, OMG.
Yeah,
oh,
there's a lot there.
It's like depressing. It's like depressing when you do.
Well, it's Monday, so maybe I'm feeling a little blue, Bruce. But I'm here in New York right now, and this is not the same city it was 4 or 5 years ago. And we're doing this now. I know that the research is there. This prevents deaths, but look, I mean, what does this actually do for those construction workers or these communities? I don't know. I don't think it's going to raise their property values when they've been so hard hit. And you also, at the same time, you have Bill de Blasio pushing forth this vaccine mandate for private companies. It's like he's trying to harm businesses in this city.
Yeah, and John, sitting here, let's get on the business subject here for a matter. Newsflash, and I hope de Blasio watches this interview with you and I. I'm one of 30 million.
I don't think he does, but we can hope.
Well, I hope it does. Well, I'll send in the clip, but I'm one of 30 million small businesses in the country, John, and we make up 62+% of the GDP. So essentially, we pretty much drive the economy, but he wouldn't know that because he thinks that government should always be the save all and control all. And it's so sad because there is an incoming mayor coming. So I don't know what he's doing. He's just trying to build his last legacy on destroying New York and trying to put government mandates in front of small business owners. Listen, John, we know the science just like everyone else and many other business owners that are watching your show now. We know what the science entails. I have retail stores here. I govern my employees accordingly. I don't mandate them. Listen, y'all know what you need to do. Speak with your doctor. If the free market if he would just allow the free market to take care of itself, there would be a natural progression of people getting certain comfort levels of where they need to be. Get the conversation of natural immunity, get the conversation about other prophylactics that you can take to prevent it, and just get this back on the table of conversation and not government mandating, because all it does is makes the people very uneasy, especially the minority community.
I just want to be very clear here. We're showing this video on the screen. These are folks getting vaccinated. Has nothing to do with these safe injection sites for the drugs, where it's two separate topics here.
Yes, please,
I know,
please.
just so everybody's clear at home. We've got the vaccine mandate, which is what that video is for, and then we have the hypodermic needles, which you were showing before, which is for the drug injection sites. I just want to make sure we're clear on that. But again, like I said before, though, you're going to create these injection sites for it's basically sanctioning the illegal use of drugs in New York City. And then also at the same time, you're implementing it's Bill de Blasio doing whatever he can to harm businesses. Yep. Bruce, you know this. The lifeblood of any community, of course, are the people that live there. But that money comes from businesses that choose to reside in these communities. And what business wants to be across the street from a legalized drug injection site?
Well, you see what's going on in Seattle and other woke cities that allow the autonomous zones. John, and Newsmax go do an actual story on that to see where they're at now from those, quote, woke, terrible city council members and mayors that allow this stuff to go on to affect the businesses. Look, John, I take care of my business and many other businesses out there. We pay the payroll taxes, we pay the sales tax, we pay the occupational tax, we pay the ad valorem taxes, we pay the alarm fee tax. Yes, alarm to your companies. You have to pay a tax on the alarm for false alarms, et cetera. So we're talking about almost 40+% coming out of your debt service on a small business. We're the sales tax and use, which is due every 20th of the month. John, newsflash, most of the cities and municipalities across the country are funded by guys like me and many 30 million of us around the country that write the sales tax every third week of the month, on time, by the way, Brother John. They don't play that. To fund the police services. And the infrastructure and public safety is what we pay. So if you demonize and you make it harder for us, then your debt service is obviously interrupted and you don't have the funds and resources. What happens, John? Your business owner picks up and he moves to another user-friendly city. John, real quick, and the Newsmax viewers, watch this. If you look at every single successful city, I challenge the viewers, everyone to watch this. Go look at the cities that can sustain themselves through financial crash, pandemic crashes, as you might say, situations. Those cities, watch this, that are the least taxed, that impact, means that their tax bases are the lowest, are the most successful cities in the country, meaning that we, the people by the people, the business community, are, quote, and their leaders, John, are good stewards of the money that are elected in there. And a lot of them have business backgrounds. If you go do the research, that you want to serve
It's not,
to make sure.
it's not a coincidence. When you have business leaders or people that have run successful organizations in the past, leading other organizations, that success tends to follow. Now let's talk about, Bruce, what's going on.
Don't have the background.
That's
Go ahead.
true.
I'm sorry.
That's true. You should
I
always,
get
you know,
worked up over this
when you wonder why
conversation.
this guy can't. No, I understand totally. But when you wonder why Joe Biden's having so much trouble, the guy's never really run anything except for a Senate office, and that doesn't lead itself to actually running a country. We're seeing that now. All right, but let's talk about some stuff going on in Georgia. I was pretty surprised, Bruce, about this announcement. David Perdue is going to jump in this governor's race. It's going to get a little chippy, huh? It's going to be quite a primary. You know, you already have Vernon Jones in that race. You got the sitting incumbent governor as well. What do you think about the Perdue news?
Well, I'll say this on your news show, and everybody's going to know. I'm going to stand with David Perdue, and let me just hit this really quick. The reason, one of the main contributing factors here is when David Perdue, when he was a U.S. Senate, and we were challenging, you know, this situation with Zuckerberg pushing hundreds of millions of dollars, prioritizing ballot boxes around Fulton, DeKalb, Clayton County, Gwinnett County, all around here. We knew that was wrong. We challenged Governor Kemp to say, hey, would you please call a special session? And John, a special session is getting all your legislators down to the well and just say, hey, what do you see that has improprieties in your county or in your district? Let's get it out there. Let's get the information out there, and let's see what the conversations was that they found in their district, and let it vet itself through. It's all he had to do. So he failed to guard and safeguard our precious votes that my family marched for to make it where I could go in and pick a candidate of my choosing without any of this mystery scratching our head with these prioritized ballot boxes, which is in litigation now with Amistad Group, an active litigation on taking third-party institutions and implementing them in our great republic, in our voting process. So that is horrible. So David Perdue is going to come and like, look, I will make sure that any improprieties, I will call it out. So yes, David Perdue will be the next governor, and he will beat Stacey Abrams based on his business acumen.
It's going to be quite a race, and we got this primary. Your endorsement, I think, is important, Bruce, considering your stature in Trump world. President Trump has not wanted to jump in and endorse Vernon Jones.
We are the America First movement. Senator David Perdue was in there from the beginning when it wasn't popular. In 2015, I was there riding with the president. I understand what that movement's all about. All this is just putting all our teams together and wanting to put America first, made in America, by America, promoting America-made owned businesses, cutting the taxes, and putting some value back in our great nation. You know, John, like the cheer, like, yeah, we can do this. So we don't ever have to rely on the supply chain overseas. We'll do it ourselves.
Well, you know, that whole issue, I talk to people all the time from Georgia. Hey, you know, Brian Kemp, pretty good guy, pretty conservative, fiscally responsible, pro-life guy. But that issue of not calling that special session, that is definitely something that has left a bitter taste in a lot of Republicans' mouths in Georgia. So he's got that going against him. But Bruce, we'll talk to you soon. Great to see you as always. Merry Christmas, my friend.
Thanks for having me. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right.